Well, thank you very much, gentlemen of the press. You will recall that earlier today I moved a motion of urgent public importance concerning the mayhem that took place in Otukpo on the 20th of October 2023. Essentially, it was a situation where some suspected armed robbers numbering over 50 invaded the town and simultaneously robbed the four commercial banks in the town, and of course, as you have well known, they equally raided the police command, where using dynamites, they dislodged virtually all the police personnel there, and forcefully went to the armory of the police and carted away some arms and ammunition. And in the banks, the activities of these hoodlums took place simultaneously. 4 of the banks were engaged simultaneously. In the process, like I said, some security personnel, 4 of them, including the DPO of Otukpo Police Command, were killed, and some other persons in the banks, staff of the banks and the rest of them, especially the UBA, where a young man who just finished his service, one Mr. Uche, was mowed down by the suspected armed robbers. It has been a tale of woes in the city. I got there yesterday, saw things for myself, saw the devastating effect of the dynamites that were thrown at the police stations, and unfortunately, because of the exigencies of the time, the banks were scattered and they weren't organized, so I couldn't see things for myself in the banking halls. But from what you have read, that I have read, the dynamites were used to break the security doors of the banks to gain access to the banks. And so this is what the situation is. And I went there to encourage the police to step up their activities and to ensure that the ugly situation does not raise its head again. I also learned that some of the suspected armed robbers have been apprehended, and 2 of them actually killed or gunned down. So the situation is to some extent under some control now, and so I felt that Nigerians should know what has happened in Otukpo, because it's unprecedented. In recent times, in growing up, I have never heard of such attack in Otukpo or any part of Zone C at all. And so it's a new development, and it's a very worrisome development. And that is why I thought that I should let Nigerians know through the instrument of the Senate that this is what has taken place, for us to find a way or find ways of containing the situation either in Otukpo or in other places in the future. When issues like this come up, we must resist the temptation of calling for creation of institutions. I don't think that what has happened and the lack of resistance and intelligence on the part of the security agencies in Otukpo is the result of lack of institutions. I want to think, first of all, let me tell you straight away that I'm not against, per se, the creation of state police. Even when I raised my voice against the creation of state police in the recent past, it was predicated on the fact that states at that moment, were unable to pay even salaries of civil servants. And then you go and saddle them with the institution of state police again. Where were they going to get the money? And in any case, you are not going to create angels from amongst ourselves in the name of state police. We still the same Nigerians that are going to be there. I think that the major problem that we have with these institutions of security, especially the police, is lack of preparedness to assume responsibility for their situations. I ask a question. Where was intelligence? That the Nigerian police didn't know that over 60 people were coming to invade Otukpo on that day. That is where you have a divisional police office. That is where you have an area command office. They didn't know. The DSS, the divisional DSS, didn't know. The Bureau for Investigation, they didn't know. The NSDC didn't know. None of the security agencies had any whimp of the invasion of that day. Where were their preparedness and alertness? Even as those people came to town and started attacking. We have the police there. We have an army formation there. We have the civil defense there. We have road safety. We have all of them there. Within the over an hour of the operation of these armed robbers, there was no countermeasure to tackle the situation. If you looked at the videos that were trending, you saw the villagers trooping and running after the vehicles of the armed robbers. Okay? So, and that is why I'm asking the Senate today to unravel the mystery. Why? Why was nobody able to contain the situation immediately with minimum damage? And a situation where 4 security personnel, especially the police, were killed, and the DP of the police of that station. So my dear questioner, I think that there is need for us to identify the appropriate security architecture with proper orientation and attitude, with proper equipment to stand these persons. Otherwise, we are all in trouble here. And that brings us to the question of, you have roadblocks all over the place. You have military roadblocks, you have civil defense. Now, civil defense now has even joined the roadblock group. You have all of them. So where will about 60 persons in Hilux, 2 Hilux vehicles, 1 car, and motorcycles, where did they pass? With these sophisticated weapons, where did they pass to come to Otukpo? And having arrived at Otukpo, why was it not possible for at least one of the security formations to be informed to raise a counter to these suspected armed robbers? So I think that what this requires now is for us to review the security architecture of Nigeria and appropriately address the issue that we have at hand. Recall that I was on this platform once, and I told you that the 9th Senate raised an ad hoc committee to review the security architecture of this country. I was a member of that committee. And we reviewed the whole system of security in the country, made appropriate reviews and findings and recommendations. And I am not sure that they have been implemented. If they had been implemented, definitely some of these things that we are witnessing now would have been foreseen and at least abated. But having said that, there is no gainsaying that there is need for a review of our security system. And I said in the floor of the Senate, and I want to repeat here, this is like a vicious circle. Year in, year out, we raise these issues for the sake of our people down home on the floor of the Senate. We make resolutions, yet they keep repeating themselves. And we keep saying the same thing. And we keep going the route of lamentations all the time. Who will bear the cart? That is the question. And I say today that this government of, what do they call it? Renewed what? Renewed hope. To muster the necessary political will to tackle some of these problems of this country headlong. At least, even if it is the security, let them be able to do it. Let us not be talking and talking and talking and making suggestions all the time without anybody taking responsibility for the enforcement of our desires and resolutions. I think that is the point that we want to make here.